go to inyourheadonline.com. This is the Nasty Boy Brian Knob, and if you want to get nasty, you better get on the internet and check it out, Daddy-O.
Siki, do you have a question for Tugboat?
Hello?
Hello, yeah, do you have a question?
Oh, oh, what's up, guys? Y'all know what's going on.
Do you have a question for
I do got a question for Tugboat, actually.
Right.
Tugboat, what's up, man? I watched you when I was a kid. How you doing?
All right, man. How's it going?
Pretty good. I noticed that as opposed to the whole Typhoon character, the whole Tugboat thing was like short-lived. I want to know how you feel about it not going as long as the, Typhoon character. And
well, I wish it had gone longer, you know what I'm saying? I was having fun with it, but it was about that, it got shortened because of the thing with Quake, and they wanted to do something with Quake, and, that's why they shortened it as quick as they did, because I loved it. Actually, it was a funny thing is they had already, Hasbro was doing our dolls back then, and they had a Tugboat doll that evidently they had did a model of it or something like that, and it never came to fruition. I had that Tugboat T-shirt. There was only one. I brought it home, and then, it's going to be Typhoon now. So, I think one of those deals. But, I wish it had last longer. But, I felt, unfortunately I felt that when they offered me that and with Quake, and I liked Quake, and I thought, man, we could be a bigger version of like the Road Warriors, you know what I'm saying? And it got over good. I mean, people hated us, but they also, when they did a little switch in there and kind of made us good, we could be as mean as we wanted to be, and people loved us too. So it was a good thing.
Yeah, because I'm going to admit, when you turned on Hulk Hogan, that kind of pissed me off, because, I was a little kid, and Hulk Hogan was so it kind of pissed me off, and then, y'all started tag teaming, and I was like, these guys are bad, but, there's something about them I like. And then when y'all had the run with Money Inc., and y'all were turned into faces, I really liked it, because Ted DiBiase to me was the devil at the time, and I wanted to see anybody flip his ass to Wood.
That's the whole deal, man. So, I mean, it actually was, it wasn't, I wish, it was longer. Definitely wish it was longer. I really enjoyed the Tugboat, and a lot of people, adults and kids, liked the character, and I enjoyed it. But, it was one of those deals, it
wouldn't really work as a heel character, I don't think.
Oh, you never know, man.
I guess so.
I'd be just like Brutus.
Exactly.
Well, he did have Popeye's mannerisms with Brutus's look pretty much.
Yep. Exactly.
So, I don't know. I guess you could have turned him heel, but I think the whole transformation was probably better in that situation because, you didn't have the fun-loving, you were no longer fun-loving Tugboat trying to be bad. You were Typhoon, the big badass. So I think in that situation, that was the way to go with that.
And then they put us with Jimmy Hart, and everybody hates. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God, he was the most annoying motherfucker in the world.
Oh, God. Yeah.
No one has ever, any wrestlers ever worked with Jimmy Hart has never said anything bad about him on the show.
Oh, I bet he was a nice guy.
No, I know that, Zeke. As a fan, he was annoying, especially with the megaphone, but I've never heard anyone say anything bad about him that, worked with him. Until now, maybe. No, I don't know.
Yeah, people with a good reputation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is a good guy, though, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Zeke, I want to thank you for calling in. You're a good caller.
And Jack, I got a message for you. Check your inbox.
All right. Thanks. I'll check that out later. See you, man.
God bless you, Tugboat.
Oh, thank you, man.
All right.
We got John on the line.
Hi, Tugboat. How are you doing?
Excellent, John. How you doing, buddy?
Great. My first question is, looking back through your career, through your WWF days, if you had to pick 3 big stars that you never got a chance to work with, who would you want to say would be your top favorite that you would want to work with, that you had for a dream match?
Oh, man, that's a difficult difficult decision, man. I mean, there's a lot of, in my career, I mean, there's just so many guys, you know, I mean, what, as far as tagging with or wrestling against or what?
Oh, wrestling against.
I've wrestled, I mean, I've wrestled against a lot of good guys. Nowadays, maybe the Big Show nowadays, or Kane, you know, you know, such a good big guys that are, you know, that are really good in the ring, move really well in the ring. You know what I'm saying? I'd probably, I mean, of modern guys, because I've wrestled with a ton of guys from the past. You know, that had, you know, I mean, a ton of guys. You got to figure I've wrestled 17 years, 250 to 300 days a year. You do the math. It's a lot of guys.
Mm-hmm. You know, you said you were a wrestling fan, and when you got into wrestling, and was there anybody that you actually wrestled that like you grew up as a fan of, and what was that experience like?
Well, how about Dusty Rhodes?
Yeah.
Who turned out to be my brother-in-law, who is my oldest son's godfather.
I didn't know that. I know he's always speaks highly of you, but I didn't know you as like
yep.
Ladies know.
He's Goldust is my nephew, and Cody Reynolds my other nephew, and Sags and the Nasty Boys is my other brother-in-law.
Nice.
Yeah, what a family for Thanksgiving, right?
Yes.
How many turkeys?
You know, him. I mean, he's number one on the list would be him. Mike Graham. Mike Graham was my first, when I lived in Miami, and I was powerlifting, I was like 18, 19 years old. My first bench press contest, I went to at the YMCA in downtown Miami, and I lifted against Mike Graham. He was there to wrestle that night over at Miami Beach Convention Center, and that's who I lifted with. You know, so that was pretty wild. I mean, here I was watching him every week. But wrestling, the Funks, Terry Funk, I mean, it was just freaky, you know. These are guys I all grew up with. How about when I was training with Malenko? I mean, I loved him. Malenko, I watched him bring a house down by using two fingers to a guy's eyes in the middle of the ring. Mm-hmm. And this is a guy talking to me, really quiet, mild-mannered, very intelligent, and could rip my shoulder blades out if he wanted to. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
like, yeah, I mean, every guy I met in every territory I've watched, and because wrestling was so hot, I've been watching it for so many years. You know, I remember going to pick up a pair of amateur wrestling shoes over here's an area called Hyde Park by the airport from this wrestling manufacturer. They manufactured amateur gear and sold amateur gear. And I went in there. Who owns the place? Hiro Matsuda. The guy who sold me a pair of amateur wrestling boots so I could have something to practice on until my regular boots got there. Because my feet were a little big, size 18. Mm-hmm. I had to wait for them to come in.
Yeah.
But, and you know, like I said, it's nervous at first, but, you know, you just block it out, and, you know, maybe the first couple times, you know, you're trembling or something like that, but maybe hand a little sweaty, but other than that, everything else is hunky-dory.
Yeah. Intro was asking earlier, I think, when you were naming the people you're related to or in your family, and he was asking how many turkeys do you guys have at Thanksgiving?
Oh, there's turkey, there's ham. There's plenty of food to go around, trust me.
That's how you do it.
Are you talking about the turkeys that we're serving or the ones that are staying in the table?
I was talking about the ones that you're serving. I just figured there have to be a lot on the table.
There was a lot of meat on the table.
Yeah. Intro and I might not be the tallest guys, but we're pretty big dudes too. So.
Hey, there you go.
Was there another question, John?
No, that was it. Thanks for my question, Tugboat. Enjoy your day.
Oh, you're very welcome, man. Have a great one.
Did you have a question from the chat room or the message board, Intro?
Yeah, I have one from the message board here. Borga, he wants to know some of your memories about working with Jerry Lawler up in AWA.
I'm remember shaving my head after losing the match.
Ah.
I remember losing the wheels of torture to him and having to eat dog food in front of the fans in Mid-South Coliseum.
Doesn't sound like very pleasant memories.
Was it real dog food?
Oh, my God. I remember pulling that strap down, a couple of times with me, making his comeback. Oh, my God. But he was awesome to work with, huh?
Was his punch stiff?
Nah, I never knew he was there.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Anyway, huh?
I was to say, you mentioned Funk earlier, and Funk and Lawler are two of the best punchers ever in wrestling.
Oh, definitely. Terry Funk, phenomenal, man. Mm-hmm. And like you said, Lawler, terrific puncher. Nice.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, what were you asking, Inter, if it was real dog food?
Oh, yeah.
Yummy. He didn't tell me. And there's a lot of ribbon that goes on. All I know is I almost threw up when but it might as well have been corned beef hash because that been about the same thing to me. Were you were in WWF when Lawler went there, weren't you? Yes, I was.
What was he? How was he treated? Because some people didn't like him, being the boss for Memphis, and now he's there as one of the employees.
He came in there actually. They hit his crown. It was at at the Lord of the Rings.
King of the Ring.
King of the Ring.
Yeah.
Okay, and somebody had taken his crown, hit it, and a bunch of people, they never knew who, it did number 2 in his crown and was balanced on the back of a toilet when they found it.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, he had some heat there, when he came in there, but, some people never get over things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he handled it? He must have handled it well because he's been there ever since.
Oh, yeah, definitely, yeah. People do stupid things, man, do stuff like that, what can you do? He took it, didn't cry about it, so that was the whole deal. Vince was a little upset about it, but, there's a bunch of people, that did some stuff.
Yeah.
And I think they did something to one of his capes. What? I think maybe sliced it up a little bit or something like that.
Yeah. To me, something like that's not a particularly funny rib, destroying someone's property or whatever.
Yeah.
But did you ever see any ribs that you thought were humorous?
Well, I've seen a lot of ribs that were humorous.
Yeah. Anything out?
I've worked in a lot of territories, man. I do vaguely recall we were in the Bahamas, and there was a guy there that had a little bit of a big head about him. And I won't say no names.
All right.
No guys' names. All I know is he was rooming with another guy. Somehow, when the guy woke up in the morning, his hands were super glued to the butt of the guy that he was rooming with. That's all I can tell you about that. Okay. I don't know how it happened. I know it was a fact. So it was when they were supposed to be leaving to leave the island after they had wrestled that night. They went out, and I don't know who they were hanging out with, but the guy woke up in his bed. His hands were super glued to the other guy's line. But I've seen a lot of stuff through the years. Padlocks were a big deal. Padlocking people's stuff to overhead pipes, depending on where you're at. I've seen some vicious stuff. I'll just leave it at that.
Right.
I've seen some stuff much worse than what happened to the King, happened to different people. But, you know what I'm saying? All right, this is Bruce the Barber Beefcake, and you're listening to In Your